And she leaves. And I look over to Mia and I was like, I know she is not about to massage my feet. And we just ran 30K. It's sweaty. I'm stinky.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Korea Unfiltered. Today, I think I have a psychopath on my chair. Look at me shading him before he even tells his story. Listen, this story is one of those stories you hear and you're just like, but why? And how? And what was the reason? You know when Cardi B goes, what was the reason? That's what I want to know today. So introducing today's guest, Zay.
What's up, what's up?
Welcome, Zay. Now people are like, why is he a psychopath? Why is he a psychopath?
Seems okay, you know, American
True,
Psycho
you look
type
very
stuff.
normal, so. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Zay. I am from Texas. Grew up in South Carolina. I live in Seoul. I've been in Korea about 6 years now.
Oh.
I teach, model, and do a little bit of sports coaching. So yeah,
6 years? I don't know why I've never seen you.
I be running. It's hard to catch me because it's like I'm so fast, you know.
Boy. No, I don't run. I'm not even in the running community at all. I used to run, actually, funny enough,
yeah?
because I'm Kenyan. Like, we all
I
run.
wasn't gonna say that, but you know,
You were thinking
I
it.
was gonna let you, you know, explain yourself.
You were thinking it, though.
For
So I
the
used to
culture.
run. Facts. It's like a cultural thing. It's like a what is it called? Passage? A rite of passage?
Rite of
As a
passage.
Kenyan?
This is life.
So I used to run when I was in middle school and high school. I did long distance. I did 1 mile and 3 mile. That was like my thing back then. And then I got into college and I was like,
Yeah, it's like wow.
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
I feel that.
Yeah, but I feel like you have a runner's high right now.
Me now, it's just my general mood on a Sunday. So
So you just go.
Yeah.
You just on a Sunday.
yeah,
you just-
I did a half marathon earlier today, and then went and played some frisbee, and then came back here, washed up, and came. So yeah.
Wow. But what made you come to Korea the first time you came?
So I came to Korea right out of college because I'm actually 1/4 Korean. A lot of people don't know that.
Facts.
But I'm 1/4 Korean. My mom and uncle were actually born in Korea. And when I got out of college, I was like, you know what? I've traveled to Europe a lot, and I was like, I want to learn about Korea. I want to see what Korea is about. I came here on a teacher's visa because it's the easiest way to get here, and just really enjoyed it and enjoyed the lifestyle, and I've been here.
Because you do have some Korean culture in you. Were you interested in Korea ever? Or
I was always interested. Like my grandmother, growing up, I grew up with her a lot, and so I was there on the weekends and holidays and stuff. She was a real focal point for my family. But she passed away when I was in high school, and so again, when I was in college, I realized that I traveled and stuff, and I was like, you know what? Before I actually go out and do whatever the world wants me to do, I want to step outside and go to see what Korea's about, because it's really easy to say you're going to do it afterwards, and you get so caught up in the rat race, and especially
That's
being in
true.
America, it's like money to buy this, to buy that, and then I was like, why not? And so I ended up coming here, and I'm glad I did.
you've been here for 6 years. I mean, there has to be a reason you're still here for sure, right?
Some say the culture. No, it's a different lifestyle. I've really met and connected with a lot of people that have shown me a different side of the world that you don't really see in America.
I feel that as an American too. I feel that. Do you see yourself living here for a long time? Like, is that like a thing for you?
I think that's the question my mom and my dad always ask me.
Why? Are they like, come back home?
Oh, always. That's
That's my
the number one
parents too.
question every time I call them. When you coming home? Soon, maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
That's my parents too. And then I stay another year and they're like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's kind of like, and then COVID happened, and for me, I felt like COVID was a year, and every time I realized it's like actually 3 years.
That was 3 years.
Yeah, I was in Daegu. Like, I was actually on Good Morning America randomly. I got a call from my friend's mom. She's like, yo, you're on Good Morning America. And I was like, yo, my friend told me it was for a small TV show, like a small like news station.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, just show what Daegu's like. And I'm walking around, just got my jacket, like just got out of bed, and just, yeah, so there's nobody outside. And show the video. Yeah, everybody's
They're
inside.
like, perfect.
Yeah.
Don't even need to pay him that much. It's fine.
Exactly.
Use that clip. And then you're on national television. in
Yeah, and I was
America.
just like, damn.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, were they trying to like show how empty Korea was
They
at
were
that
just
time?
showing. I mean, at the time, like America knew nothing about COVID. You know, it was just like the flu there, and
Yeah.
so you know, Daegu was kind of like the epicenter at the time. I
Yeah.
was in Songin, and it was weird times. It was
I still can't believe it happened.
I
To
know
be
it's like
honest.
you know, like the cowboy westerns where they're like the tumbleweeds rolling by. That's exactly what it's like. Nobody was on
Nobody.
metros. Like if you got on the subway and you
Oh
saw
my
another
God.
person, you were probably 10 carts away from him.
Because
you
you're
know?
like social distance,
Yeah.
10 carts away. Wow. Did you end up coming to Korea straight to Daegu or
No, actually, it was in Mokpo.
Mokpo? Mokpo. Is that in Seoul?
So most people don't know Mokpo.
What's Mokpo?
Fun
Yeah.
fact: you can take a ferry to Jeju from Mokpo. It's in the Jeolla
Oh,
region. So, yeah.
okay. What was in Mokpo? Was it just teaching or?
Well, when I first came here, they were like, "Oh, it's a great harbor city. You know, you got a beach there, and it's awesome." And I get there, and there's like 20 foreigners and very rural, but it was a fun town. I met some really cool people. Made genuine connections with a lot of the locals there, so it was
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. And I feel like, people are nicer out there compared to Seoul. Like, 'cause Seoul is so busy and nobody has time and stuff like
Everybody's
that.
doing their own thing, got their own agenda. So yeah.
And maybe in Mokpo, people have time. They're just
Yeah,
like,
you just kind of chill.
Yeah.
I wasn't who I am now.
scare the crap out of them.
Obviously, I wasn't running like I was when I was there. I was more so just having fun. So yeah,
Now you're in your healthy lifestyle.
something like that.
Something like that. Okay, let's get to the meat of the episode because I'm excited to hear. So, do you know how I found out about you? Did I
No.
ever tell you? So Chris also came on the podcast.
Oh
Yeah, he came on
Shout
the
out,
podcast.
Chris.
Yeah, that's the reason I found out about you because he was talking about like how people are very nice outside of Seoul, and he was talking about like how my friend ran from Seoul to Busan and he had like all these amazing experiences, and I was like, is
Wait,
your friend
time out,
okay?
what?
First of all, because that's weird. But I was like, okay, that's great. I would love to have you here. So he connected me to you,
Oh, word.
and that's how like
Preach.
you
Big love,
hear.
Chris.
Right. So, first question is, how was that? How was running from Seoul to Busan? Actually, what made you? What made you run from Seoul to Busan?
So I've been running every day for a little over 3 years now. I think today was day 1,303.
Every single day?
Yeah, outside. It started, ironically enough, going back to COVID.
Yeah.
I was quarantined twice back to back, just from close contact. Like I never had COVID,
Oh, okay.
but then we complain so much we don't have time to do stuff during the day, and when you're in your apartment, 24 hours, it's a lot, and you're just and so I challenged myself to. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do a 5K a day for the month of March whenever I get out. So I got out March 1st
Yeah.
and then March 2nd, because it's really 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And we spend so much time that's a Netflix episode. That's
I'm sorry, you said that,
binging
and
all
I'm
that
like,
stuff.
for you,
She felt
it's
that.
35
She felt
minutes.
that.
For you, it's 35. For me, that's an hour.
But still, it's like it's something that you can.
Yeah.
It's easily done, and you spend so much time doing stuff that
Or minuscule.
that don't really amount to anything. Doom scrolling, all that stuff. And so I was like, I'll do this challenge, and I started March 2nd. I got out March 1st, and then so I ran March 2nd. I did it on a track in Daegu, and when I finished, I sat next to the track, and I was like, took in the challenge. I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm finished. I think I could still do more. And I felt like if I stopped, I would be kind of limiting what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I actually didn't do a whole month because I started on the 2nd. So I was like, well, let's see what April's like. So I did April, same track. And then I finished, and at the end of April, I sat down, same spot. I was very intentional about that, And,
Gotta sit on that one spot.
and just kind of taking what I did. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do more. And I was like, it's about 60 days. 60 is kind of close to 100. Let's try 100 days.
Wow.
So I kept going, and then and it got to the point to where, funny enough, I would run, and I would pack up all my stuff. I'd be walking back home, and I'm standing at a light, and I'd be like just waiting for the light to change. And next thing you know, I'd be like, crap, did I run today? I forgot to run. And I was like, oh. And that's when I realized, like, I was limiting myself by my own little challenge of doing 5K. I was like, why not do more?
Yeah, yeah.
And so then I pushed it to more and more to where it got to where it's at now, to where I run at least 10K a day, sometimes a little bit more. And yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
10K, how long does that take you to run usually?
on average, like 55 minutes. It depends if I'm pushing. Like I think my fast is like 40 minutes or so. But yeah.
How fast is your mile then? Have you ever tried just doing that?
Not really. I think when I first started running, I was really into time, you know. But I thought about like the longevity of running and more so the purpose of why I'm doing it and what it's become. Again, it started as a challenge and it's become more than just a lifestyle, but just kind of like a way to live in a sense where it's something that I'm doing that's giving back to me, that's giving back to myself, that we spend so much energy giving out to work, giving out to random friends, random relationships that don't feed back to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, and it's like nowadays it's like brushing my teeth. So it's like if it's at the end of the day, I'm running and I'm thinking about the interactions I've had during the day or the problems or the solutions that I've come with during the day or things I want to work towards later. And if it's at the beginning of my day, early in the morning, I'm thinking about what's going to happen that day and kind of processing it and going through it and digesting it. And it's my quiet time in a sense. Even though I got my headphones in, it's my quiet time.
And you're just sweating and just tired, but it's still your quiet time.
Exactly.
That is like slightly toxic. It's like a good toxicity. You're over here talking about, did I run when you ran? Sounds like an addict.
Something like that.
Sounds like an addict. Do you think you're like actually like, is it like a love for running or is it like a health thing?
It's gotten to a point to where I've come to realize that what I'm doing, and again, not to put myself on a platform or anything like that, but like what I'm doing is impacting more than just my life. Like I'll get random messages from friends or people that I don't even know. They're like, yo, your running's inspired me, seeing you do these things. It's because I want people to realize that I'm just an ordinary guy.
Yeah.
Like anybody could do what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But you just have to choose to do it. Essentially, you have to choose to live a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
I strongly stand by the notion that to an active life is a healthy life.
That's true, yeah.
And that a healthy life is a happy life. And I think that a lot of times we get caught up in stress relievers or things that we do that we think are calming us down that aren't really productive or helpful to us and actually are detrimental to our health. So yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry, that's a little bit of a tangent.
No, it's okay. This is your episode. You gotta say whatever he said. You gotta say whatever you want to say on this episode. But so you were running in Daegu, and since you started, you haven't missed a day then, right?
Been running outside every day.
So how was it transitioning from Daegu to Seoul then? Like finding a place to run and all these things.
It's a lot easier,
In
just
Seoul?
because it's along the river. So funny enough, I did my first half marathon and marathon were on that track in Daegu.
Oh.
So I don't know if you know how the distance on that, but that's like a half marathon is maybe 50 times around the track.
No.
And so a marathon
not
is
feel
like
like-
100 and something around. Like it's like 120 or
Crazy.
112, but yeah.
How do you feel about just going in circles? Because even a mile is like, that's 4 laps, and I'm still like, ugh, I'm tired of the track at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of zoning in, and again, it's essentially it's a dialogue with yourself. You know, you're having this, you're not running around the track, you're having a conversation with yourself at times, or you're just kind of whatever you're focused on,
Right.
kind of deal. So,
Jeez. Okay, going back to finding places to run in Seoul. We haven't touched Busan yet. We're getting there. I need to see the mindset going into the whole running to Busan. So you came to Seoul, you continued your running journey, right? And then when was the first time you were like, I can do this Seoul to Busan thing?
So the first time I have a daily loop that I kind of do. But the first time I actually did it, there's something that I saw that told me I was doing something right.
Okay.
I saw this amazing animal.
Okay.
I give you 3 guesses on what the animal was.
Is it near the Han River?
It was on the Han River.
On a duck?
When I say it was on the Han, I was on the path.
The
It was
trail.
on the path. It was on the
The
trail.
trail,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'll recant that. You
Okay.
You get a free one. It wasn't a duck.
It wasn't a squirrel?
So not a squirrel.
What type of, was it 4-legged?
I will
Two-legged?
say that it has at least 2 legs.
At least two.
I can't make it easy.
Is it just so it can have 4 legs?
It could.
What's an animal that does this?
I don't know. I mean,
Starting to
know.
think meerkat. I don't think it's a meerkat
Yeah.
though. What is it?
I'll give you. It was during the day. It was during the day. That's how
During
it's
the day?
happening.
I don't know.
You got 2 more guesses.
During the day, I know somebody's screaming at the TV right now. Like, I know this. What does this shit right here?
I never said you did this. You did
my
this. I
point doesn't
never
even-
said that.
I'm over here making.
That was you. I was just.
I'm so
following.
bad at this. I'm like sweating right now. A flamingo.
A flamingo, no, but
Similar.
you're actually kind of close.
Okay, because that was a BS guess. Okay, so it's not a flamingo, but it's close. What are those things? Is stock? Is it called a stock?
I think she wants to say stork. I'm gonna take a guess and say she wants to say stork.
I thought they were called stock.
It was not a stork. It
What?
was a peacock.
You should have just said it's really pretty. You should have given me
I'm-
better information.
Anytime anyone runs with me and I do my run, I'll give them the guesses.
Yeah. A peacock
2
would
people
never.
have gotten it. 2 people have gotten it.
A
'Cause they
peacock
say-
would never enter my
I
head.
know, right? But
Yeah.
it's like, I was like, stars aligning, moon, sun,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was right there, and I was like, cool.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, this is pretty dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially, most of my runs are along the Han River.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I was in Daegu. I mean, I've run like in Vietnam and Thailand and in the States, like just from
Oh, wow,
traveling and
okay.
stuff. And so it's just you kind of map out a place
Mm-hmm.
on roads, but it's so freeing just running along the Han. Like I did a marathon on Chuseok, actually, just literally going around the Han.
Oh, wow.
So it's cool. It was
Okay.
hot, but yeah.
Because it was really, really hot during Chuseok.
Oh, I felt it.
I guess you just have water and you're just running with water, I guess.
Yeah, I've got a little pack that I use.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. Yeah, I seen it on your Instagram. I was all up in there. So I was like, let me see. And I saw your toe and I was like, never mind. Like, "Ugh."
You'd be
Like,
surprised at how many people were trying to see my toes, yeah. I
Do you
was
know
like,
the
that's
fir-
a freaks,
the
yeah.
first
That's a freaks, yeah.
That's the first thing I asked Chris. I was like, are his feet okay? First thing
Bruh.
I asked him.
I could have charged Joe, but I gave away free feet pics, yeah, for free.
You should have charged it. I blur my shit on Instagram. I don't play that. Nobody is about to jerk off to my feet. Nope.
Oh wow.
You're not getting this for free. You got to pay for this. I blur it. Or I just cut it
Oh.
off. I don't play about feet. But now people just got your feet.
Yeah, they got him.
There's a girl who's just looking at your feet like,
Hey, people like what they like,
true. It is what it is.
and I like running.
True. So you saw the peacock and then.
So I saw the peacock and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to when I was doing the 5-day challenge and before it got to the 10K, I was like, you know what? It'd be crazy. It'd be fucking crazy if at some point I ran Seoul to Busan. That'd be wild. Just put that back there, you know?
I'm happy you
And
know
then-
at least.
Yeah, I was just like, I
Yeah.
put it back there. And then I got a good buddy, Ollie, and he was doing a little bit more intense running, like ultra marathons, stuff like that. And I'd never really heard of an ultra marathon. I was like, what the hell is that? It's like, there's something past 42 kilometers. I'm like, yeah, life. I was like, what? Anyways. And so like there's this Trans Jeju run. I'm actually going to do it next month. And it goes up and down Halasan, and it's like they've got different degrees. There's like a 10K, a 20K, a 50-kilometer run, and then a 100-kilometer run. And he'd done the 50K,
Yeah.
and I was like, that dude's crazy. Ain't no way. I'm okay with just doing my 5 and 10Ks, and, you know, I'm fine. But
Yeah.
then after I'd ran for 365 days, and I'd started pushing it, like after I ran my first half marathon, the next week I ran 2. And then I got to the point where like, because once you know that you can do it,
Yeah.
it's a complete game changer. Like until you get to that point, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can
Right,
do it, and
right.
you overstress it, you overthink it,
Yeah.
and then you're like dying when you do it. But then the next week or the next time you try it, you're like, no, I've done this before.
Yeah.
You know, you've got something to
It's
relate
like
it to.
your body remembers. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like I was talking to a friend. I did a group run this past Saturday. I do these like brunch with Zay runs where we do like I always centered around like a focal point, like about mindfulness and stuff like that. And this one was called Rest and Reset, kind of to talk about the whole Seoul to Busan thing, is like resting and resetting. And so doing that, I was talking to him. I was like, there's a hill. I was like, you know what? I think I'm able to do this hill all the time because I'm able to relate it to something. I was like, this hill is steep, but there's this other hill that I did that was really steep.
Sorry.
Yo, she got them reflexes.
Sorry.
I ain't gonna say she killed the mosquito, but she got blood on her hands. I'm just saying.
Was pissing me off.
R.I.P.
I'm sorry.
R.I.P.
You were such
I
a
just
good
witnessed that.
good part
Goodness.
of your story.
But
Yeah.
so we're going up the hill, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine, because like I know that I've done something harder than that. And then when I go to that harder hill, and then I'm like, oh, well, I've done something even harder than that. And it's like, and I think that's where running really relates to life, where it's like you're pushing yourself and you're putting yourself in these extreme conditions to where in life, when you're stressed out and you've got a lot of stuff going on, you don't know what to do. And it's like, wait a minute, I've been in a stressful or a very challenging situation before, and I'm still here. And you have that to relate to. And I think that's where running's really beneficial, and that's where it kind of really translates to real life. But again, back to the story.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's okay. The tangents are fine too.
So I was like, it'd be crazy if I did that. And so then I did after a year of running, I was like, you know what? I ran in the cold. I ran in like negative 16 degrees, and I ran in like 35 degrees. I was like, you know what? I think I can do a 50K, and I was like, I think I can do this 50K up and down Halasan. And so I sign up for it and I do it. And me and my buddy, and I'm asking him all these questions like, yo, what type of gear do I need? How much money do I need to spend on this and that and all this stuff? Because it gets to a point to where after 10K, it really matters the type of gear that you have, from your shoes to your socks to your shirts. You get like nipple chafe, or like just chafe.
Nipple chafe?
Nipple chafe's where your shirt rubs a lot on your nipples and it chafes.
Why don't you just get nipple
chafe.
patches?
So you could do that. That's the thing. But again, if you don't know about that, like once you have that one experience, you're like, oh damn, let's change this. Yeah. So
let's do something about that.
So you learn about that. You get better material, better clothing material and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So I was talking to him. So did the 50K. Had some challenging moments, but finished. And a friend of mine, Carly, she ran it with me as well. And
Ooh, kudos to Carla.
Yeah. But then at the end of it, I was like, yo, man, I might sign up for this 100K next year. And so I signed up for the 100K. I did the 100K last year.
Yeah.
And it's like up and down the two peaks of Halasan. And I think I finished in like right at like 16 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's crazy. 16 hours of running?
Yeah. But there's checkpoint stations where you stop and you refuel and stuff like that.
Like
And there's
water,
like a
food,
proper gear change up where you change your clothes, that type of deal. So we did that.
Oh my God.
And again, it's the mental journey I went through that with that was insane, because in my mind, what's half of 100?
50.
Exactly. So it's only twice.
Like,
it's like, easy.
But it's 50 and another 50.
50.
It's 50.
And so like, it was funny because as I'm doing the 100K last year, I get to about 21K at like the first point to where in the 50K the year before, I was like, oh, I'm halfway done. I can do this. And I had that same moment in the 100K, and I was like, oh, oh, damn, I'm not even a fourth of the way done. I don't know if I could do this. And so like I had that mental hurdle, and I was just like, this ain't twice as hard, yo. This is harder than that. And
oh my God.
And so then I get to so I had a really mental like kind of hurdle to go through for that.
Yeah, I bet.
And then I get to the halfway point. It's like going straight up. And I had my buddy Hyunshik, he ran that with me, and it was like we met at like the 10K mark, and we're like, yo, we're gonna run this together. I'm like, all right, bet, we got this. So he's my homie, we ran it. And he actually ran Seoul to Busan first that year. Last year he ran it.
Okay.
And so he ran that, I think, in September of last year. And I was like, man. So that thing that was back there, that was like, Seoul to Busan, like, wait, I know someone who's done it. So it's like,
it's doable.
Transitive property. You know, it's like, maybe I could do it. So again, it's like here, but it's like now it's like here. And so then I finished the 100K, felt all right. I went running the next day again, and I was like, you know what?
After on 100K?
Yeah, because it's in October, so. And then I had another buddy, Matt Choi, he's like a big running influencer from the States. He actually just visited this past week. And he came down and he ran Seoul to Busan in November. And I was just like,
it's getting closer.
I now know 2 people that have done it.
And they're fine.
And they're still alive.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell am I doing? And so I thought about it a lot. And for me, I think something that you said is really important. You said that the body remembers. And so for me, I don't like to say things out of my mouth that I'm not going to do because the body remembers.
Yeah.
When you say it, your ears hear it.
It's gonna remember.
If you say you're going to do something, like verbally say it, and you don't do it,
yeah,
your body remembers, and your body's like, nah, he ain't really going to do it this
like,
time, you know?
you
exactly. Like you do it enough times, it's going to be like, nah, we good this time. We ain't got to do nothing. So, but it's like,
wow, that's true.
So with that same mentality, I waited a bit and I really kind of thought about it. And I was like, I think towards the end of December, I kind of told myself I'm going to do it. And I told Matt when he was here, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it next year in September. That's when I had the time off for it. And I didn't think about summertime, the heat, any of that other crazy shit. And so, so we get to the point to where we're writing I hosted a New Year Better Me run with some people, and I had everybody write their New Year's resolutions. I still have them, so end of the year I'm gonna give them to everybody. But I wrote them down. One of mine was run Seoul to Busan.
Check.
You know, and well at the time it was like.
Maybe.
Run Seoul to Busan.
You were writing with regret. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do it, but it's because like I told myself I would do it. I told people, and the more I said it, the more I was like, we're gonna find a way to get it done. And so, and I said it, and I said it at the beginning of the year, and then it got to the point I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run it at some point this year, and then it's like a month away, and I was like, oh shit, I said that one thing. So yeah.
And everybody knows you said that one thing.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, it's real. Like I made a post, and I was like. I think that's when it really set in that I was doing it after I kind of made the post and like, cause I told people, but I didn't post it on my Instagram yet. And then I put it there and then I was like, yo, we're going to do this. So,
now people are checking up on you. Did you do it?
Yeah. And so I was like, well, we kind of got to do something. So yeah. So that's what led to the makings of running Seoul to Busan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Whew, child. And
it's a long story, but yeah.
It's better for it to be long so we understand, But it does make sense that you actually did do very vigorous running before doing Seoul to Busan. Because I don't know why I thought you just kind of like...
I was like, nah. Well,
jumped into it.
The funny thing is I was very purposeful with how we started it because we actually started like right from my apartment. Like as soon as I left my apartment, I had some friends I was meeting down in Bompo, and that's kind of was the meeting point for everyone.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make a huge emphasis of just like, it's just a regular run. It's a regular everyday run. I left from my apartment, went to Bompo, touched my feet in the river, and then started my run with everyone that day. So yeah.
But this was not the Seoul to Busan one. It was just...
No, this was Seoul to Busan, like literally like...
Oh, so you started with other people?
Yeah. So like the way we set it up was we had... we knew it was going to be about 10 days or 9 days. And
oh my God.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be 9 days. And so what we did was myself and Emil, he was my videographer and biker, and he's like huge support system. Like wouldn't have been able to do it without him. Shout out Emil. He's actually currently still editing the video. So
I can't wait to see this one. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't post on there. A lot of tears. But
I bet.
But so we had some days where some people joined us. But the first day, I think maybe about 15 or so people joined us, and they kind of tailored off and left as we progressed. I think Sean ran with us the furthest that day, and I think we did like 30K with him.
Sean is in... You said Sean like I know him.
Oh, no, I'm just saying these names.
Oh, okay. You were like Sean, and I'm just like, I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so he ran with me the furthest that day and did 30K, and then Emil and I went a little bit further, and we had our halfway break. We kind of set it up most of our days, and we have a halfway point, and then we finish where we're going. So if we finished, if the run was a 60K run that day, we would do 30K, have a proper stop, get food, coffee, chill, relax, and then go back at it. We would have also like a fourth of the way where I would replenish my bladders. So my water bladders, I had a 500 and a 500, and then another reserve 500 in my back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like with Bakari, and we had noon hydration tablets, just for electrolytes. We had salt tablets, energy gels.
Yeah.
So a lot of different stuff that I went through. So
And so you had the water, the gels. Is there anything else that you had to prepare to run Seoul to Busan?
The other big thing was gear. So when Hyunshik did it, he did it kind of with a huge pack, and it was like a proper like hiking pack. And so it was like a lot more intense, I think, than what we did.
Yeah.
And then when my buddy Matt Choi did it, he had his brother biking, and then he had my other friend Felix driving a van. So like he met up with them as they went, and so they kept a lot of stuff in there and progressed along the way. We didn't have a van, but we had a bike. We borrowed an electric bike from my buddy Will from Daegu, and so I was like, and I was talking to my buddy. I was like, all right, this is the bare minimum of what we need is a bike for you to ride, and then worst case scenario, we'll have to make it work. Either we're carrying all this stuff, or we'll figure something out. And so then I started thinking, well, just like in these big, like the 100K that I did, we have drop bags. I was like, well, what if we can find some people that can be drop bags for us? So we found 4 really cool people. Our first drop. So
what's a drop bag?
So essentially just a bag with the gear for the next day.
Oh, okay.
So we packed 4 bags. Each had 2 sets of clothes for both of us. And then a refuel on supplies. So like a refuel on the noons, on the energy gels, on the snacks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So our first drop bag was with my buddy Sam. So we would run a day. So like we started day 1. We had 1 extra pair of clothes on our pack, and then whatever snacks we had for the next day as well. And then the second day, where we stopped at, Sam met us, and he brought us our drop bag and everything.
Yeah.
And then we sent him back our dirty clothes.
The old stuff. Yeah.
So that we did. So we weren't carrying as much.
Right.
And then day 3, then day 4, my buddy Sumin met us, and then he again same thing. And then day 5, day 6, my buddy Jisoo met us, and then 7, 8, we had someone meet us, and this was like the day where we sent whatever we didn't think we were gonna need. We just sent everything with them.
Yeah.
And then day 9 was the last day, and then so I had another buddy, Femi, who like we had some friends meet me down there, and they brought some gear. So yeah.
Wow. I need more friends, because I would make it to 4 days, and then I'm like, no more friends.
That's essentially just like the outline of what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What were some of your best moments running Seoul to Busan?
So I think one of the coolest moments was just realizing the support system and the family and community that I have here in Korea. You kind of forget it a bit, but it wouldn't have been possible without all the people who helped sponsor the event, who helped along the way with just drop bags or with just emotional support or financial support for when we're refueling and stuff like that for the hotels and stuff like that. Like it wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised again by that, and that was an amazing feat that I'm still shook by.
It does sound like you definitely needed a lot of support.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
I think the other big thing was running. You think, oh, I'll put my headphones in, it'll be fine, I'll go through. I actually didn't use my AirPods
on
for
purpose?
most of the run. Yeah, so I think after the first day, I realized that I actually didn't want the AirPods, and so I just went. We call it running naked.
Yeah.
When you
just silence, nothing. Yeah.
And my singing and joking, and my buddy Emil riding with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially it was a lot of just quiet time and just kind of listening. And it's also a safety thing too, because a lot of the roads were like single laned, and just that's difficult too. But anyways, so I think realizing that, and it was really cool. Like I felt really connected more with the run a bit. And more importantly, it allowed me to just kind of zone out a bit too. And but along with the good things, there was a point on 8/15. I think it's Liberation Day, maybe.
8/15.
Yeah, the holiday. I think it's a Korean holiday. I think it's Liberation Day.
Yeah.
But it's a day where most businesses are closed. We were going
Oh.
from I can't remember the place. We were going to Gumi, and we got to our halfway point, and we get there, and actually just before getting there, I think it was like 35 degrees this day. It was super hot.
Oh my God. And humid, I bet.
I'll never forget, we were riding, or I'm running. Emil's like a little bit further back, because he has the task of like taking film or taking pictures. So he'll stop, take pictures, do all this stuff. And then sometimes when I'm refueling stuff, he's got to pack it up and everything. And so he had to do a lot of people think, oh, you got to ride a bike, that was easy. He's like, nah, he had to carry all my stuff, like
even a
all the
bike is not
waters and
easy.
stuff.
Yeah.
So again, wouldn't have been possible without him. But I think he was a little bit further back, and this van comes up behind me, honks at me, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And I look back, and this dude's got his hand out, a fresh ice cold water.
Oh my God.
Handing it out to me, and he's like, Joshime, like, be careful. And I'm like, yo, like, wasn't expecting that at all. And it just so that happened, and we're about 3 or 4K from the city we're going to, and we get to where we're going, and we're like, and in my mind I'm like, shit, it's a holiday, it's like a big holiday, no one's here. But then we find this like little quaint cafe, and I think she was like kind of like a local, I wouldn't say pharmacist, but like healer, like
Street
she knew
pharmacist.
like
Yeah.
like the stuff, like what's the word for it?
You can say healer. I feel like healer is
Well,
a good
healer, but like the town healer or something like that. But anyways, because there was people that came later, and they're like, oh, what should I take, and
Oh,
she
maybe she was like a nurse before
Something
or
like
something
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's there, and two relatively big black guys come in, and we're like, are you open?
Yeah.
괜찮아요?
Yeah.
So we go in, and so like I order a coffee, Emil's kind of loading his stuff up and everything, or putting the bike up away, and I was like, oh, I'm finding a place to sit. And at this point, so to tie in a bit of a difficulty, I'd bought like 6 pairs of proper compression socks for blood circulation for the feet, which I'd bought for my trail run, the big 100K, because it's like a lot of wear and tear on your feet, and it's like the blood's pumping down there a lot. Didn't think much about it, and I was like, oh, it's 9 days, so I'll just wear 3 other random athletic socks.
Oh, okay. Oof.
This was day 1 or day 2 of wearing
The
a
normal
pair
socks?
of regular athletic socks. And so what was happening is a lot of blood's pumping, and there's a huge buildup in my 2 big toes, to where like my nails were like essentially like, as they are, like placed just like on top, but they felt like they weren't there, because there was so much pressure built there. There's just like a big bubble of just fluid on both of them. Yeah, I'm describing some pretty nasty stuff. I got pictures too, but I've learned I'm going to charge for these. But yeah, so we get there, and I was like, all right, I need to put my feet up so that I can like kind of like let the blood kind of pump, come down. And so it's weird because I could actually feel the blood going tutum, 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 down. And so I'm sitting in a cafe, and I find this like this step stool that she's got, and I put my feet up on it, and she's like, wait, why are you doing this? And I'm like, 피가 있어요. 피가 있어요. I want to come down.
Pee down.
She's like, oh, wow. And so I told her what we were doing. She's like, down. So she puts it down, and she's like, massage. And she leaves. And I look over to Mia, and I was like, I know she is not about to massage my feet. And we just ran 30K. It's sweaty. I'm stinky.
It's just like,
and I'm like, I'm looking at him. I was like, dude,
oh my
I don't
God.
think she's going to. And so then she comes back, and she has these ice packs. And I'm like, oh, okay. And when I go,
She's
I'm
just
just
gonna put them
gonna
on.
step on these.
Yeah.
And no, I kid you not. She puts them down. She's like, Shimpa, take your shoes off.
Yeah.
And she's like, put your feet on here and just kind of presses like, okay. And I was like, see, I told you.
Yeah.
And but as I'm looking at Emil, she gets down and starts doing like I
On
think
your
it's like
legs?
Daksol or like
Yeah.
the like cultural kind of like healing ways that
Oh
you do.
wow. Okay.
And she starts like bare hands just
hitting your feet.
like massaging my feet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was
God.
such a weird experience for me because I was so grateful for it, and then also at the same time I felt so awkward because I know I smelled so bad. Like I know I smelled so bad,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
know that my feet were soaked.
Yeah.
She just in her bare hands just,
She doesn't care.
and it just like, and she just generally was just so kind, just wanted to help me, and it moved me so much. It was such an amazing experience. And that day was just. I still can't get over it.
I feel like, oh my God, that's so nice of her.
And
really.
so to tie in with the good, it's like the whole run itself made me remember how kind Korea is, how kind Korea can be. I think, like you said earlier, being in Seoul, you kind of forget that. I think that a lot of times people are a little. Essentially have their own agendas, and I think we all do.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's a little bit more prevalent in big cities, not just Seoul, but just in big cities. And the further I got away, the further I got down south, the nicer people were helping out. Like Emil, his bike, the bike we were using, didn't have any battery. Like the battery ran out,
Oh my
and he
God.
needed, like it was like straight uphill, and he needed it. And so he's looking around, and he said, "This random guy is just like, hey, we got a charger over here." Goes out, charges it, and it's just like there's times like that where there's just so many just nice people that like there are other interactions we had where people just like gave us free water, just gave us like extras, snacks, service, stuff like that. And just the conversations that we had, I was able to use my Korean a little bit more. They're a lot slower with speech, so it was a lot more understandable. And just people essentially just had more time, more time to give and more time to be there. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then when they found out I was running Seoul to Busan, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What?
They're like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny because one of the days we were going, we saw some people in a town, or I guess they saw us in the town earlier, and we had eaten there, and then we came and we were running. And as we're coming, I see this like old couple come running out, and they've got their phones, and they're like, and I'm like, they're saying like, oh, we were in the city over there, and like in Korean, and they're just like, and I was like, oh hey, like it was so cool.
They're like, where's your car? It's
yeah.
just feet. Like that's crazy.
And then like there was like some taxis that like would pass us, and then as they're like a gas station, they're like, it was a moving experience. Like I think the preparation we put in for it and kind of what I thought the run was going to be like was nothing like I thought it was going to be, but it was everything that I wanted it to be and more.
Oh wow, okay.
It was it allowed me to it was a great refresher, a great reset in general with my time here in Korea. And it's just, again, it reminded me that was the biggest thing. It reminded me of the kindness of Korea.
Yeah, yeah. What was your favorite city when you were running? What was the city that gave you the nice
I think just
people?
that day, because we ended
Gumi?
up going to Gumi.
Yeah.
And my friend Jisoo, her brother, like her family's from Gumi, so she was there. And we ate dinner at her brother's restaurant for free. And I was just and it was the best meal we had the whole trip. And it was just amazing.
Jeez, that's so sweet.
And it's not like we're just eating like rice and kimbap. It's like meats.
like food,
like
yeah.
samgyeopsal, muksa, all this stuff. And
Yum.
And we met up with my buddy Will, and he ran with us the next day from Gumi to Daegu, or to Dongdaegu essentially. But yeah, it was just, it was.
That sounds like so heartwarming.
It was, and it's like in its mid trip, where a lot of times you can have that lull, and it definitely was very uplifting and very powerful for us at that time.
You know what? You talking like this makes me feel like I can do it too.
You can. It's mental. That's all it is.
Stop.
And a little bit of training.
Don't do that.
It's just a little bit.
What about the hardships? What hardships did you endure while running Seoul to Busan? Minus the feet.
Minus the feet, so obviously the feet. that was a big thing. I think